Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting evening of Ultimate E presents this Battle of the Cities, a GT Sport. We've just had an unbelievable weekend racing these cars in Monza with the six teams battling it out against each other. We now say ciao to Monza and arigato to Japan as we head to Suzuka for round two of Ultimate E's GT Sport, the Battle of the Cities. We've got Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Pune all battling it out for each other. And I'm joined by Aditya Patel, one of India's most notable racing drivers, and also the founder of Ultimate E. Aditya, welcome on board. How are you?
Thanks, Anjan. I'm great. Really looking forward to today, and and you're excused with the name because this particular grid has four Adityas, and Aditya Patnaik is one of them. I was on the grid the last time we raced, which was Saturday. So yeah, but really looking forward to what today has in store for us. With Suzuka, I love this circuit. I've raced there myself, and now today Arman's on the grid, and I'm sure he's going to give us some action. Looking forward to see what our Williams friend Patrick can do. He really dominated the field the other day, and I have a feeling that he's probably going to do the same today, although the guys have been practicing hard to try and catch up to him.
Absolutely. I mean, the way Patrick drove last weekend at Monza, 37 seconds ahead of the pack in race number 2, finishing first in both the races. Patrick, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, is Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN. He is our wild card for this evening and the last weekend as well. He is one of the quickest GT drivers and sim racers in world sport, representing the Williams Esports team as well. And he's joining us here at Ultimate E just to show us where he stands and what that absolute talent and monster speed is all about. So let me quickly take you through today's format. We're going to be racing at Suzuka. We've got 6 teams battling each other. We have Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Pune. Exact same format as last time. We will be racing the Super Formula cars, the Dallara SF19s. These are the top-level Formula cars from the racing series in Japan. So round 1 we had at Monza. Very, very exciting 2 races. Now at Suzuka. For race 1, we're going to have a 10-minute qualifying session, out of which we're just now about 8 minutes to go in this qualifying session. And then we have a 10-minute race. For race 2, it will be a full reverse grid of race 1 and a 12-minute race. Fuel depletion is 7 times and tire wear is 4 times. So you will see these guys pitting for sure. And of course, like last time, strategies mattered because we had a couple of guys at the back, like Kunal, Vinod, and Go, who pitted early and came out all the way in front. But then, of course, this is the man on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, with 7.5 minutes to go. Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN. He is the benchmark. He's been setting the benchmark through practice. He's been setting the benchmark all through last weekend. And I think, Aditya, our boys, the Indian guys, have a lot of work on their hands if they want to catch him this weekend.
For sure. I mean, you watch Patrick, he doesn't make a single mistake. He's perfectly clean. He makes it look so easy. But, when you play the game, it's really not as easy as you'd imagine it to be. When you look at people like Patrick driving the way he's driving. So, obviously, it's a lot of practice involved. And that's what makes it really tough for our guys, and it's great to have Patrick on board because then you've got someone to actually try and catch up to. Otherwise, you kind of get stuck in the same place that you are and the same place that you have been. I would have really loved to have Aditya Raghav with us here today, who's been super quick, but unfortunately, internet connection issues have been acting up for him, and he just hasn't been able to make it on the grid. He tried hard, but unfortunately couldn't make it. But in the meantime, we're watching Patrick just flying in qualifying. He's done a 1 minute 38.2. But Shamim
3 seconds ahead.
He's 3 seconds ahead. He's fast.
That is quick. Joining Patrick as the wildcard teammate, replacing you from last week, is your partner Arman Ibrahim. I'm wondering what we can see him do this weekend. Or today, Aditya.
Arman didn't have much practice, I can tell you that. He jumped onto the game late this evening because he was busy getting something else in order. And but I can tell you he can be quick because he's driven on this circuit before. He's good in single-seater, so he understands the basic dynamics of the car. But again, these guys are pretty much the best in the country when it comes to this particular game. And now you've thrown Arman in against them. And it's literally like feeding him to the sharks. So he's really going to up his game and see what he can do here and pull something out of the bag if he wants to get into the top 10.
Absolutely, because that's exactly what we're trying to see what we can do. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the 6 cities and the drivers representing them. Let me quickly take you through, then I'll bring Aditya in just to talk about a couple of these guys. For Bangalore, we have Pradyumna Prakash. We did have Ankur Agarwal was a couple for Bangalore, but I think internet issues has unfortunately not been let him join. For Delhi, we have Ashwin Lakhwani. For Chennai, we have Swaggy Dylan Zakaria. Fun Anywhere, Aditya Bakshi. For Hyderabad, we have Pratik 91, who's Pratik, and Ishan Dodiwala. For Mumbai, we have Ravi Kiran and Shamim. These two guys were really, really quick last time out in Monza. For Pune, we have a newcomer, Aditya Patnaik, and Kunal Vinod, who's going to be representing Pune. And the wildcards, of course, Arman Ibrahim, the co-founder of Ultimate and the X1 Racing League, and Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN, one of the world's quickest GT drivers in the Williams Esports team. Yeah, a couple of very, very well-known names in here who've been with us the last couple of weekends. We're actually, if you're looking at the timing screens now with 4 minutes to go, we're seeing those names emerge in the top as we'd expect them to.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Ravi, guys like Pratik, always been up there. And you wouldn't really expect anything less from them. So, and they've been regulars with us. And, these guys are definitely pretty much the best in this game when it comes to any car, really. We've put them through GT cars, we're putting them through the Super Formula cars, and they're just proving their mettle everywhere. So we do have pretty much the best guys in the country playing with us this particular series. And we'd love to have more people. We want to really encourage people who are gaming right now during this lockdown. And even though the lockdown is easing off, we really do want to encourage this gaming culture. And we're starting to introduce amateur formats to get more people involved. So it's just not always these guys. Because what we do is we run a selection process through the week, and invariably it's the same guys who make it through. So we do want to kind of expand this grid. And while we speak, we see Patrick now in the pits for a quick stop, change his tires, and I think he's going to go even quicker.
Absolutely. I mean, Aditya, when we see Patrick get out of the pitch, I think he's taking a little bit of fuel. But why don't you take us through a lap of Patrick around this infamous Suzuka circuit, which have the S curves, the downlap curves, the Tegnas, spoon curve, the hairpin, and the casino triangle. I think you can just ride on board with him. Aditya, take us through this lap.
Yeah, it's his outlap right now, so he's obviously not going to be pushing. Patrick's going to try and preserve his tires for his first flying lap. But we're going through the S's right now. We're on board with him. And you can just see how smooth he is. He knows the game, he knows the car, he knows the track, and it just makes it so easy for him. This particular corner, coming out of the S's, you have to be absolutely flat out going through it. You can lose so much time because you're going uphill, and then you're going into the Degners, which in reality is really bumpy, but you can get away with it in the game because you don't feel the bumps as much. But then coming out of that really tight corner, then out of the second Degner, towards the hairpin, you've got to get a good exit because then it's a slightly long straight. This hairpin, you'll notice that Patrick picks up the throttle fairly early, gets on the gas really soon because again, he's got a long stretch. It's not absolutely straight, but it's fully on the gas, down the hill, up the hill into Spoon. Spoon is interesting in these cars because you can carry so much speed. As you can see now, he's in fourth gear, carrying so much speed into Spoon, the first left, the second left. Try and get on the power as early as possible down this long back straight. It just brings back this image of Ayrton Senna's car going down the straight here and coming into 130R, which is a really, really, really quick left-hander. Easy flat in this car, and then heading for the chicane. Got to brake at the 100-meter mark down nice and early. Use the curves as much as you can. And you can see now he's actually riding it, building it up for his lap, which is why he took a nice wide line to come down onto the straight.
That's where you have
use as much curb on that last corner, and that's basically a lap of the Suzuka circuit. And
while you were taking us, while you were taking us through that, Aditya, I mean, with 1:15 to go, Ashwin out of nowhere is now less than half a second closer to Patrick now. I think he's put in the stonking of a lap. Yeah,
that's a brilliant job. To be less than half a second off Patrick, I think is an amazing job there by Ashwin. We're looking at Patrick now go through the S's. We saw him make a little bit of a mistake in the second corner, but like I said, when he made his pit stop, I did feel like he's going to come out and do a really, really quick lap. And I do feel like this lap, he's going to go even quicker. Let's just watch now in the sector. Yep.
He's almost a second up. Yep, almost a second up. Almost a second up on that first corner.
I think Ashwin's got to up his game a little bit here.
What if Ashwin's got enough time for another lap? 30 seconds left to go for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is Ultimate E Battle of the Series, a Super Formula GD spot. We've been in Monza, now we're racing in Suzuka, and we're right now following Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN on his absolute stonker of a lap because he's just gone in the first sector about 1 second quicker than his previous lap. So this guy, when we see this kind of talent, we see this kind of world-class talent that comes to our stage, it does set a benchmark. And like you were talking about earlier, because we race in the bubble and race against each other, so it's great for you guys bringing in this talent, showing these guys that they really have so much more to offer. They can go so much quicker, just improving their driving style. So that's great to see out there.
For sure, you always want to have somebody who is the best in the business for you to actually focus on. And while we speak, he's done 1 minute 35.6, and that's 2.7 seconds ahead of Ashwin. So that's super quick. But what's great is that these guys have been analyzing his onboard videos, and it gives them now something to actually try to achieve. And we need people like this because we do have the talent in the country. We're a country of 1 billion plus people. A lot of youngsters are gaming these days, and it's different genres of games, but a lot of people play this particular game, Gran Turismo. And if they have something to look, if they see someone can actually do something, then they know that they can do it as well. So I think it's great now for them to actually see that there are people who can do what Patrick is doing and up their game a bit.
I mean, that's really interesting to me. That's something that we all want to watch because we want to see some of these guys eventually. Once they go through Ultimate EGC, we can represent us on the world stage eventually. That's what the goal is, I think, Adya, by the end of this. But yeah, we're coming back into qualifying. I mean, if you look at the top right now, we do have Patrick right on top, followed very closely, well, not really very closely, but Ashwin in second place, followed now but then by Aditya Patnaik representing Pune in third place. Shamim, who had a superb outing last time at Monza. I mean, he took the fight to Patrick a little bit in the beginning, but then unfortunately, it's Patrick, so he just went quicker in fourth place. So, with that being, this is shaping up to be rather nice, but there are a couple of surprises in there because, we do have Ishan Dodiwala in 8th place, which is the first time he's racing out here in the championship. So it's great to see him there. Arman in 9th, Pradyumna Prakash, of course, always been in the mid pack in 7th place, and then Swaggy Dilly, who did so well last time out at Monza in 10th place. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from these guys.
Yeah,
not bad for a rookie.
We've got Arman here on with us. Yeah, not bad for a rookie indeed. At least you made it in the top 10.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, Arman. You are in the top 10. I mean, for the first time out in Japan, but you've driven here on the real cars.
We were actually talking about how you're racing against the Sharks, and not bad. If you can get ahead of some of the Sharks, that's impressive.
All right, Aditya, here we go. It is our 10-lap race, ladies and gentlemen. We're a couple of seconds away from the lights going green. We have Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN on pole, followed by Ashwin Lakhwani, followed by Aditya Patnaik for Pune. That's your top 3, and it's going to be a cracker of the race. We're in Suzuka. I can't wait for this race to go green. I'm joined by Aditya Patel, who's going to take us through. And off we go. The lights go green. What a start by Patrick. He's already off. But we see a couple of guys going wide. People are going off already because right now we still have Aditya Patnaik in second place, Shamim in third place, followed by Ravi Kiran in fourth. This is coming on the first bend. We see Patrick taking a wide line, but of course steamed off through there. But there's a big battle right behind him between Aditya Patnaik right now, followed very closely by Ishan Dodiwala. You see Ishan hustling him around that corner or on the outside, showing him the wheel, but it's really hard to overtake in the S's. And further up and down the field, the battles everywhere right now. And what a start by Patrick. He just flew away, but then we see that the teammates Ishan Dodiwala and Aditya Patnaik battling it out 4th and 5th place. And I think Aditya just went wide and Ishan loses it. He's gone. He's lost it. Ishan's completely lost it.
Was that Ishan who went off? Yeah, that's Ishan. No, I was really unfortunate because the teammates were so close to each other, and they've got these two Mumbai boys, and the Hyderabad guys definitely wanted to get the Mumbai guys, but now I think they're going to really work like a team Mumbai, to actually get the points and to score some. If I'm not mistaken, they were on top of the table already, so it's important that they work together. But again, Patrick in front, he's just going to blitz everybody.
Aditya, just correct you there. They are third on the table right now with 15 points, and Chennai is second with 19 points. The Wildcards are leading with 23 points at the moment. like you said, that's what we talked about. That's exactly what Arman and I were talking about the last time. We saw the Chennai boys battling it out, and they gave no quarter. And we see the exact same thing here coming into the chicane. Oh, he goes a little bit wide, Ravi Kiran right there. Loses a place as well. He loses that place with Pradyumna Prakash, I think, is taking that place. And Aditya Patnaik, has taken that place with Pradyumna Prakash right on his tail right now. And there we see it right in front of him. There's hardly anything between. I think it was Ravi Kiran and yes, there's Ravi Kiran and Shamim that's gone. So Shamim's gone up in the third place. Ravi Kiran in fourth. Pradyumna Prakash in fifth place right now. What a great start by Pradyumna making about 3 places on the start, Aditya.
Superb start by him, but we actually really missed what happened in the chicane because Aditya Patnaik was behind the 2 Mumbai cars and now he's ahead of the 2 of them. So not sure what happened there, but was it Pratik? Yeah, that's Pratik.
It was Pratik.
Pratik was behind them and now Pratik's ahead of them. So not sure what he did there, but he's done a great job to get himself ahead of them.
He's got himself ahead because I think just as we saw as they went into the chicane. Oh, there we see. I think that Pradyumna making a move and Ravi Kiran now fourth place. Yes, and Pradyumna gets a move done. What a superb move! He gets in the Degnas under the bridge. He goes into the hairpin. Yeah, but I can now see Ravi Kiran is lining him up. He's no slouch. He's gonna line him up and see takes that wider line. See if he gets a better traction, better exit out of that corner. Because Pradyumna does not get a very good exit. And there we see Ravi Kiran is now hustling Pradyumna all the way down to Spoon Cup. This is flat out, ladies and gentlemen, through here. And it's brilliant watching these guys. But Pradyumna has it under control, going in the Spoon, takes down, and of course it's a double apex corner, so he breaks down one more time before he goes up the throttle, all the way down that fast straight down into 130R. So let's see what he can do. I'm wondering, do you think Ravi has the pace to catch up to him? Because on paper, he's definitely quicker than Pradyumna Prakash.
Ravi is quick, but I can tell you this, Pradyumna has been texting me over the last couple of days that he has been practicing a lot. He's been doing a lot of race sessions.
And as you said, there we go.
And as I said, driving going down the inside.
On the inside.
Super clean move.
Superb. That is a superb move. What a move by Ravi. But yeah, but
that one was textbook.
He showed him the outside, then came down the inside. But then you see Pradyumna still riding in the slipstream. Wants to see if he can get back. I think he's a little too far back to get him to turn one. It's going to be very hard now to overtake all the way until he gets to the Degnas.
Yeah, it's going to be hard now. He's got to really try and keep up with Ravi. But Ravi is very, very good at this game.
And right ahead, you see Shami. He's putting a couple of stonkers because he's right now on Aditya Patnaik's tail in second place right now.
He is pushing hard, he knows that he can. The thing is with Shamim, he's an interesting character. Ravi tries hard, Ravi makes mistakes. But Shamim is that guy who'll take it one step back, try not to make mistakes, and he's the one who always gets those consistent finishes, Somehow or the other, we always see Shamim running in the top 3, but you'll see Ravi making mistakes going back, but Ravi has that outright pace. But Shamim, he's very calculated. He's like the Indian Alan Prost, let's put it that way. The Alan Prost of GT. He's very calculated, makes his decisions at the right time, doesn't make mistakes, and just keeps his car there in front. Very, very controlled.
You can see him driving because he has not, and we see him in the last couple of weekends. He hadn't made too many mistakes, waiting for opportunities to come to him. So that was really great to see. But there we see, I think Arman right now, we're following Arman Ibrahim around, and he's followed very closely now by Ashwin, who does look like he has a lot more pace coming out of those corners compared to Arman. Arman does not have as much practice as he does, but he's putting on a great show here right now in 9th place.
Yeah, he's got his mirrors filled, but yeah, you're right. Arman doesn't have much practice. He got on the game at 7 p.m. today because it was like let's say a last-minute call is what you say in racing terms. Yeah. But pretty sure Ashwin's going to try and make his move as soon as possible because I'm sure he wants to try and catch Kunal in front because Kunal's fighting.
Arman's defending hard. Arman's
being really aggressive there, but it didn't really work for him. But now
Arman goes back down the inside. What a beautiful move, Arman! That is crazy driving with no practice.
Is
now they're going side by side. Yes, they did down the S's. What a crazy move. Arman knows how this track works. When he came, he overtook him, but then coming in that second apex of the first corner, Arman went back down the inside and held it through the S's, and now he's holding him up. And I know for a fact that Ashwin's going to come back and going to come back harder this time around because he's on his tail right now, coming up into that hairpin. So I think he's going to get. He's getting very, very close.
Yeah.
In the Degnas, Arman makes that mistake, but Arman made a mistake in the Degnas, which gives Ashwin. It was a great battle and some superb racecraft I've seen from the old man.
From the old man, indeed. He's got a lot of white hair, and I'm sure Ashwin gave him a few more white hairs there. back on with Ravi now, and Ravi's catching Shamim, and he's catching him really quickly. But like I said, Ravi has that outright pace, but Shamim is just really controlled and consistent. But Shamim's got Aditya Patnaik not too far ahead of him. He needs to try and catch him. Again, Patnaik is really, really quick, so it's going to be tough to do. So I think what he's going to do here is let Ravi do the duty. We still got that. He's got a 3-second penalty for that.
But he can get rid of these penalties. So let's see, by the end of the race, we still have 6 laps to go. And of course, Aditya coming around with 5 laps now to go. For sure, there's going to be pit stops now. We're going to be entering that realm where these guys, they're going to be feeling the tires go off a bit. They're going to be low on fuel. They're going to be entering that realm. So we're going to see while these guys are fighting really, really hard. And this is between Aditya Bakshi and Aditya Patnaik right now. Kunal Vinod right now, which is a superb battle going on between the 2-7 place. Aditya.
Yeah, they're really, really close. We are watching right now. We're on with Aditya Bakshi. He's got Kunal Vinod right behind him. But it's a great battle, and a good battle is going on actually up and down the field. He's actually trying to catch up with the car in front of him.
He's cut that corner massively.
He's going to get a big penalty for that one.
Fly across that corner. Yeah, the game's not going to forgive him for that very easily. But just coming quickly back into the pit stops, Aditya. I mean, we're in that zone right now where we're going to see these guys come in. So it's going to be a splash and dash, and then they're all going to go out because right now there's not too much of a gap between these guys. Of course, Patrick right now is blasted off in the no sign of him with 10 seconds ahead, 5 laps in. So he's putting 2 seconds a lap on the guys behind him, Aditya, right now.
That's crazy. That's just so fast. He made a mistake. You don't see Patrick do that quite often, but even with that mistake, his lap is going to be really, really fast. He's what time did he do? He missed it there, but what did he do? He did a
138. Yeah.
Yeah, back with Shamim.
Oh, there he's gone in the box.
Ravi's also dived in the pits. It's a team.
Did Ravi dive in the pits? I think did Ravi dive in the pits there?
Ravi did. So Praj is in the pits. Shamim, Ravi.
I think everybody from
everybody has.
Everyone except the first two. Everyone except the first two are in the pits right now, Aditya.
Yep, and Aditya Bakshi as well is on the track. So is Pratik. Now he's back out of the pits.
Shamim is out of the pits as well. Ravi Kiran's out of the pits right now. It's Pradyumna Prakash is in 6th place. And right behind him is Aditya Patnaik. Pratik's right behind Pradyumna Prakash with Kunal Vinod in 8th place at the moment.
For those who are watching, what's really interesting actually is the fact that Patrick has been able to stay out for one more lap, because these guys have all got a message on their dashboard saying that they can only do less than a lap, which is why they've all dived into the pits, everybody at the same time. But Patrick, even at his pace, has probably got a message saying that you can do more than a lap, which means you can do what you want and come into the pits at the end of the next lap.
To me, it looks like he's got a rather comfortable lead at 23 seconds now by the time he pits and gets out of these pits out there.
Yeah, actually, he's going to get out of the pits. I mean, obviously not 23 seconds ahead, but at least about 10 seconds ahead. Before this,
I think he's going to keep that
gap.
At
least 12 seconds ahead. He's going to keep that gap for sure. And he's just...
He's going for another lap. He's still going. How is he doing this? He's still going for another lap.
He's got so little fuel left. He's in the red right now. So this is going to be really interesting to see, because normally you really wouldn't be able to do a lap with that much fuel.
If you notice, the last lap he did was a 137.8, which is the fastest lap we've had so far. So with that little fuel, he's still putting in fastest laps, and if he still has some time to go until he pits, because there's 2 more sectors till he goes to pits. It's a long track. It's almost 6 kilometer track, so he's got a way to go. But I can see he's backed off a little bit.
He's got a long way to go, and he's going flat out. He hasn't backed off. I was just watching his throttle trace there, and he is really going fast. He's pushing it harder than any of these guys are. So look at him. He's just full bang on the
on his in-lap.
And it's not like he's lifting and coasting or anything. You see, he's fully on the gas, fully off the gas, brake, and get back on. And it's going to be interesting. He knows the game so well, so he knows he can make it to the pit. 2 laps more than anybody else. That's a lot.
It's a lot, and especially 2 laps, so he's doing in laps at qualifying pace and setting fastest laps. That's brilliant to watch, because now he's got a 30-second lead with those 2 laps that he's done extra. He came out of the pits, he had a 22-second lead, and now he's put 8 seconds, Aditya, on the last 2 laps ahead of the guys behind him.
But the advantage that gives him is he doesn't need to fill so much of fuel, and I think he knows that he doesn't need to change tires as well. We should actually watch him right now, and his strategy may be not to change tires, but only to
Just
fuel
splash
as
and
much
dash
as he
and
needs
then-
to fuel, splash and dash, which means his stop is going to be a lot less than the other guys.
Yep, there
And
we
this is
see he's
something
spitting now.
that the guys need to learn.
Yep, there we go.
You can see
Completely empty tank of fuel. Oh, but he's just changing tires out there.
He's
He has
changing
changed
tires.
tires.
Let's see how much fuel he gets in there. He's right now absolutely empty, but when he gets out, we'll actually be able to see how much fuel he's got in there.
In quite a bit of fuel right now. He's out of the pits. Yep, 54 liters. Half a tank of fuel. Yep, 54 liters of fuel.
But I have to remind you, all the other guys actually went for a full tank, and this guy's only gone half a tank, which means they've actually sat there waiting much longer than he did right now. So he's going to be... What's he like? He's still 34. He's 16 seconds ahead. Okay, so
18 seconds now. Yep, 18 seconds now ahead of Aditya Patnaik in second place. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 laps to go right now. It's finally settled down after the pit stops, because until then it was just everyone was on everybody's gearbox. It was to watch, but now with it settling down, we've got Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN in first place, followed by Aditya Patnaik in second place on a very, very quick drive, followed by Shamim in third place, and then Ravi Kiran in fourth, followed by Pradyumna Prakash in fifth, followed by Aditya Bakshi in sixth place, followed by Kunal in seventh, followed by Pratik in eighth, followed by Ashwin Lakhmani in ninth place. That rounds up our top 9 at the moment. But then we've only got 2 laps to go. And he's got an 18-second lead. So I think that race, right, we know up in front is now gone. So there's only 2 spots left on the podium, and right now we're on board with Ashwin, who's really, really hustling him and takes him down the inside. He's going to make that stick. Ooh, he's got the corner there. Pratik's got the corner.
Pratik's got the corner, but and somehow it lets you do it in this game. That's really weird. We saw somebody else do it a lot earlier, and he got away with it. But this is a great battle here.
On the hip, and he goes, yep. And there we go. Ashwin's taking it back, but I think he's coming back hard. Him coming in his spoon. This is exciting to watch, because these guys are going wheel to wheel at about 200 kilometers out on their sims. Oh, that is close, Aditya.
206 is really close. These guys they've been side by side for 4 corners now. That's crazy. There's some insane racing here.
Some great car
so
control to watch from these guys.
Absolutely
Yeah.
clean. These guys giving each other enough room and still giving us some great action to watch.
There we go. I think Ashwin's coming back in very, very hard.
pounce
He's going to slipstream. He's going to pounce, I think, down 130R, all the chicane. Let's see if he goes into 130R. No, it doesn't have enough, but down the chicane. Coming down, is Ashwin going to break him? No, he does not. And Pratik lives to see another lap ahead of Ashwin right now. But coming into this long into the first corner where that's straight. Oh, and we have another big battle for third place brewing, Aditya. Between Shami right now, second and third, the last spots on the podium. Second, third, and fourth, very, very close together between Aditya Patnaik, Shami, and Ravi Kiran. This is Bombay against Pune. What a close little battle for the last spot on the podium. I did not see this coming, Aditya.
That's a great battle, actually. He's got him. Shamim got him. He's barged his way through. But that's some violent racing there. Where's Shamim gone? I don't see him anymore. Oh no,
he's gone up track. There we go.
He tried to barge his way through, but now it's Ravi who's been. Oh no, so Ravi's now second and Shamim's in third, and Aditya Patnaik is. I think the 2 of them had a bit of contact, and both of them lost out from it.
I think just to correct you, PRX flipper that we were following, Aditya, my mistake as well, is actually Pratik and not Aditya Patnaik. So
Pratik.
There is there's a PXT and there's a PRX, so we get rather confused between the two. So ladies and gentlemen, we apologize, but that is Pratik. But yeah, we're back right now with Shami, followed very, very closely by Praj Prakash, because that mistake now is that Praj Prakash get a sniff at the podium. Man, this guy, I remember we started racing at lockdown when the lockdown began, and now he's racing with some of the best in the country and battling podiums. That's really, really great to see. But coming down that long straight into 130R, until they break hard for the chicanes, he's still not close enough. A half a second behind. Is he going to dive bomb him? He does not. Very clean through that chicane. Let's see if he gets a great exit coming through there now. And onto that long start finish straight. Aditya, this is who's right there? Was that Pratik in front having a spin?
Is that Ravi? No, that's Ravi actually.
That's Ravi. Yeah, Ravi's had a spin, I think, down the start finish straight.
No, you know what I think it is? Did he have a spin? Because I think he may have had a penalty and he's had to slow down. And while he's backing off, he's let Shamim.
He's given that place up to Shamim, yeah. They're working very well as a team here.
They are really working well as a team. I've got some interesting comments coming in. Obviously, there's some fans of Team Mumbai here, and these two guys are both from Chennai. People are like, why are the Chennai boys in Mumbai? But there's a lot of Chennai boys on this grid here.
Absolutely,
But
because
also some
I think we're on the last lap.
yeah,
We're on
some
our
interesting
final lap.
comments about interesting comments about Patrick. Someone saying he's using a foreign internet connection, which is why he's so fast. But Patrick just has the talent.
So he
He's
goes
just
so much
crazy.
quicker. There we have it. I mean, he's coming down the last chicane. Around the final bend, ladies and gentlemen. A commandingly 34 seconds. What a win for Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN. And right behind him, we have Shami 94. Of course, Shamim with Ravi Kiran now a second away with Pratibha Prakash in fourth place. So this has been a really, really good race out there with battles up and down the field. Of course, Patrick setting that pace, setting the game, setting the tone. It's just been sensational watching him. But at the same time, I think the Mumbai boys have worked very, very well together, getting rid of that penalty, holding Pratibha Prakash off, and keeping second and third for a big haul of points. Because this is going to get them, for sure, is going to get them ahead of Chennai going into the next race, Aditya.
For sure, they're going to be ahead of Chennai now. They were only 2 points behind Chennai after the last race, and I think after this race,
but I think right across the line right now between Pratik and Altya Bakshi. Yeah, we have Pratik who takes Altya. Kunal who takes Altya Bakshi. Pratik, so did he have a penalty coming across the line? I don't think so. But Ashwin Lakmani now in 9th place. Arman finishing in 11th. Dodiwala in 12th place at the moment. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is our race result. Race 1 of the GT of the Ultimate Events, the Battle of the Cities. So there we go. This is Patrick the Machine BLAZSAN, who's commanding win. Of course, world-class talent, the Williams Esports driver. So very, very well done. And if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ultimate Ease Battle of the Cities Super Formula GT Sport. We're going to have a full reverse grid right now for race 2. If you just finished race 1, we had Patrick again taking the win in a commanding fashion. And race 2 is coming right up. We're at Suzuka in Japan. I'm joined with Aditya Patel. And I have Arman as well with us, who finished 11th in the last race. Arman, take us through it. Well done for a rookie.
I should have been a top 10, but I ran out of fuel at the end because I got a little greedy because we started catching the guys in front on the last lap and thought I had enough fuel, but then just the last corner I had to slow down. But it was we were trying a few mistakes. Yeah, I got tapped a bit, but next race, starting front row, so watch out. Yeah?
But you've got to try and do a one-stop strategy. I think that's going to
I did a one-stopper.
But the next race is
fuel at the end.
2 laps more.
But
so you have to remember the next race is 2 laps more.
Yeah, I pitted too early as well, so I think I know how to know what needs to be done. So let's see.
Perfect. Arman. Best of luck for the next one. We hope you go well again. Of course, starting front row of the grid. Let's see if we can hold the boys behind you.
Elbows out.
We saw that move in first corner against Ravi Kiran, and that was stunning to watch. I was saying, the old boys still have it.
Just got word from Ravi. Ravi thought the last lap was a lap earlier, but which is why he slowed down and lost that finish. And then when he saw these guys going by, he went again.
Oh, God.
It's exciting racing, man. Exciting racing.
Great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here we're going into race number 2 right now. We're going to have a full reverse grid of race 1. It's been rather exciting to watch, Aditya, because race 1 was super close. Not as I thought there'd be a lot more. Like in Monza, there was a decent gap between the guys when they finished and came across the line. Here, all the way down to the end, there was hardly anything between guys. Because if you look at the timing screens, between the first place and 6th place, there was about first place and 5th place. There's about 4 seconds between these guys.
From second actually. The first place he was a bit ahead, but second place downwards is really, really close, and that just goes to show these guys are so evenly matched. They're literally the 12 best in the country, and that's why it's so great to have Patrick with us. We need these guys and we wanted to give them the opportunity to really up their game. We would have loved to have Aditya Raghav with us, but unfortunately his internet is acting up today. But again, kudos to Patrick. Watching someone drive at that level, it's something else. And I'm really looking forward to race 2 because this exact order that you're looking at here is going to be reversed, which means Ishan Dodiwala is going to be on pole and Arman is going to be P2. Swaggy, which is Dylan, he's going to be P3, and it's going to shake things up a bit because it's not an easy track to overtake. And that means Patrick is going to have a lot of work to do. He's going to start all the way at the back of this this grid, which is literally the strongest grid in India for Gran Turismo.